Welcome back to another episode of Reacher Season 3 Episode 8 Finale. Warning. Spoilers ahead. Reacher, Beck, Duffy, Villanueva, and federal law enforcement are waiting at a local import site where Xavier Quinn's big transaction is about to happen in the opening scene of the final episode of Reacher Season 3, Unfinished Business. But when Reacher is talking to Frances Neagley, who is following the truck carrying illicit goods that should be going to the import site, he quickly discovers that she is actually following the truck to the residence where Beck's birthday celebration is being held. The group understands that this is all a ruse and that the deal is actually happening at the house. Before we know it, Reacher, Duffy, Beck, and Villanueva barely escape death as Quinn's men begin shooting at the federal agents and Reacher's team. During their escape, the team takes control of the truck before it enters the house, and the driver uses a gun to persuade bodyguard Polly to allow him entry. Polly is a little too dubious about the truck, though, and soon locates the team, with Reacher facing Polly while the others enter the house. Finally, the moment we have been waiting for has arrived. Reacher and Polly begin a long and vicious struggle that ends in a barn where Reacher is pinned under a pile of hay bales that appear to crush him nearly to death, but he manages to escape. After that, the altercation shifts to the property's edge, where the two jump into the sea. Polly eventually takes a large mouthful of water and floats to the ocean's bottom as the two attempt to drown each other beneath the waves. After climbing out of the sea, Reacher makes his way back to the home, but as he turns to look behind him, he sees Polly standing in the center of the road. Polly, who appears to have risen from the grave, chases Reacher back to the house, where they fight once again until Polly points a rifle at Reacher and pulls the trigger. However, Reacher has jammed the barrel end so that the bullet enters Polly's head from the rear of the gun and kills him. Neagley watches Quinn and the Russians closely while posing as a waiter at the party inside the house. The villain presents the Russian boss, who seems to have a fetish for redheads, an unconscious and very defenseless Teresa in an attempt to keep the Russians happy until Quinn can finally pay the enormous debt he owes them. However, Duffy is attempting to release Teresa when the leader goes upstairs to retrieve his prize. The two turn to face one another as Duffy raises a gun at the leader. In the meantime, Villanueva is engaged in combat in the restroom with one of Quinn's men. Quinn confronts Beck and Beck's son, Richard, in the office after realizing that Beck has betrayed him. Richard takes out a gun and points it at Quinn after Quinn threatens to kill them. But when Quinn discovers the gun is a fake, he takes out his own and shoots Beck many times, killing him in front of his son. This is because the gun is the same replica that Richard had previously created for his father. Reacher and his group, however, enter the room and seize the villain before Quinn can murder Richard. In a shocking turn of events, the genuine Russian mob boss is ready to kidnap Quinn for himself because the villain owes him a lot of money, just as Reacher, Neagley, and Duffy are walking Quinn outside. Reacher clarifies, however, that he has unresolved business with Quinn, but the crime boss is unwilling to relinquish him simply. Reacher ultimately meets the man he has been chasing all season, though, after the two are able to come to an agreement. Quinn is